Your dog is staring at the corner of the room again. Nothing's there. You checked. You always check. But your dog doesn't move, doesn't blink, just stares. Here's a question nobody really wants to sit with. What if your dog isn't wrong? What if it's detecting something completely real? Something that exists right now, in that corner, in your home, and your brain simply doesn't have the hardware to pick it up. Because here's what I found out when I actually looked into this. Your senses aren't showing you the world. They're showing you a version of the world. A stripped-down, simplified, heavily edited version, designed by millions of years of evolution to keep you alive, not to show you the truth. And today, we're going to find out exactly how much got cut. Fair warning. By the end of this, you're going to look at your dog, a flower, even a glass of water, and feel like you've been missing something your whole life. Because you have. The questions. Here are the questions I want living in your head for the next 10 minutes. Your dog's nose is so powerful it can smell things that happened hours ago. So, when it sniffs you the moment you walk through the door, what exactly is it reading? What does it know about your day that you haven't told it? There are colors that exist in nature right now, visible to other creatures, that no human being has ever seen. Not because they're hidden somewhere exotic. They're on flowers in your garden. You just can't see them. Why? When you eat something spicy, are you actually tasting heat? Or is your brain completely making that up? And this is the one I kept thinking about after I researched this video. If the world has always been full of sounds you can't hear, colors you can't see, and signals you can't detect, can you really say you know what reality looks like? Or have you just been confidently describing a room you've only seen through a keyhole? Every one of these gets answered. Let's go. Your eyes are only showing you 0.0035% of reality. Let's start with the sense we trust the most, sight. The universe is filled with light. Radio waves, microwaves, infrared, ultraviolet, X-rays, gamma rays. It's all light, just vibrating at different speeds. And of all of that, your eyes can detect exactly one tiny slice. Scientists calculated it. We can see about 0.0035% of the electromagnetic spectrum. Not 35%, not 3.5%. 0.0035. If the full spectrum were a highway from New York to Los Angeles, your entire visible world would cover less than one footstep. And you've been walking around your whole life thinking you see things. Bees see ultraviolet light. So that plain yellow sunflower in your garden, to a bee, it has markings on it. Actual guidance patterns, painted there by nature specifically for pollinators that are completely invisible to human eyes. Those markings have been on every flower you've ever looked at. Your whole life. You never saw them once. Now dogs. Everyone says dogs are colorblind. Not exactly true. Dogs see yellows and blues like a faded photograph. What they actually beat us at is motion. A dog detects movement at the edge of its vision that you would completely miss. So the next time your dog snaps its head toward an empty corner and stares, it might be tracking a spider moving behind a bookshelf. Something real, something there, invisible to you. But the animal that should make you truly uncomfortable is the mantis shrimp. You have 3 types of color receptors: red, green, blue. Everything you've ever seen, every sunset, every painting, every face you love, is a combination of 3 signals. The mantis shrimp has 16. Scientists are genuinely still arguing about what that even means for its experience of color, because we don't have language for what it sees. There are colors in a mantis shrimp's world that have no name in any human language, because no human has ever seen them. They're around you right now. In the light hitting this screen, you just don't have the hardware. Quick one for the comments. If you could borrow any animal's vision for one day, what would you pick? I already know my answer, but I want to see what you all say. The giant concert happening around you right now. Okay, so your eyes are only showing you a fraction of the light around you. But at least your ears are picking everything up, right? No, not even close. Right now, in whatever room you're sitting in, there are sounds, real vibrations moving through the air around you right now. And your ears are simply not capable of detecting them. Humans hear between about 20 and 20,000 hertz. That's our window. Dogs hear up to 65,000, cats up to 79,000. Bats by up to 200,000 hertz. A bat is hearing frequencies so far above our range they might as well be on another planet acoustically. That dog whistle from cartoons, the one the human blows and hears nothing. That's not a joke, it's a real frequency. To you, complete silence. To your dog, full volume. Your dog is sitting there being screamed at by an object you think is making no sound. Now go the other direction. Sounds too low for us to hear. Elephants communicate through the ground. Deep infrasound rumbles that travel miles through the earth, picked up by other elephants through their feet. Full communication, warnings, greetings, information. You could be standing directly between two elephants having a conversation. You would hear nothing. You would feel nothing. The message would pass straight through your body and you'd never know. And whales. Whales sing across entire ocean basins, songs that travel hundreds of kilometers, complex, evolving songs that spread from whale to whale across the Pacific. For most of human history, we had absolutely no idea any of this was happening, because those frequencies are outside what we can detect. The ocean has never been quiet. We've just never been able to hear it. I want to ask you something genuinely. Has your dog or cat ever reacted to something you couldn't hear or see? Tell me what happened in the comments. I read them all, and some of those stories get genuinely strange. Our dog knows you better than your best friend. This is the one that got to me most when I was putting this together. You have about 6 million scent receptors in your nose. Sounds like a lot. A dog has up to 300 million. But the number alone doesn't capture it. Here's the comparison that actually lands. If your vision lets you see clearly for a quarter of a mile, a dog's sense of smell is the equivalent of seeing clearly for 300 miles. Not just more sensitive, a completely different category of information. When your dog sniffs you at the door, it's not just saying hello. It's reading a report. It knows roughly what time you left, what you ate, whether you were stressed today, because adrenaline is a real chemical your body releases and dogs detect it, whether you were around other animals, possibly even whether something is off with your health. Because cancer detection dogs are real, they exist, they work, and they found things that medical machines missed. Your dog has known things about your physical and emotional state that you've never told it. Every single day. And here's the part that genuinely stopped me. Scent fades over time, and dogs track that gradient. They can tell the difference between a scent trail from an hour ago versus 10 minutes ago just by intensity. They experience time through smell. You walk through the present moment. Your dog walks through a timeline. The taste thing is weirder than you think. Quick one, but I couldn't skip it because it has the weirdest facts on this list. You have around 10,000 taste buds. You taste 5 things: sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami. That's your whole flavor universe. A catfish has over 100,000 taste buds, spread across its entire body. It doesn't find food and put it in its mouth. It swims through dark water and its skin tells it where the food is. The whole fish is one giant, swimming tongue. Butterflies taste with their feet. The moment they land on something, they already know if it's edible. No sniffing, no licking. Land, and immediately know. And here's the one about you that nobody talks about. When you eat something spicy, you think you're tasting heat. You're not. The chemical in spicy food tricks your touch receptors into thinking they're burning. The temperature of your mouth hasn't changed at all. Your brain is completely misreading the signal and calling it heat. You've eaten thousands of spicy meals in your life. None of them were actually hot. Your brain has been making that up the whole time. The sense that proves reality is a construction. Touch. You probably feel solid about this one. Then meet the star-nosed mole. This small, underground animal has 22 fleshy tentacles on its nose, packed with over 25,000 sensory receptors. It's the most sensitive touch organ of any known mammal. And it works so fast. This animal can identify whether something is edible and eat it in 8 milliseconds. 8 milliseconds. Your brain hasn't even consciously registered that information arrived yet. A spider's web is basically an external nervous system. Through each strand, it reads weight, movement, direction, size. Its sense of touch extends meters beyond its own body. Crocodiles, those prehistoric armored tanks, have tiny pressure sensors along their jaw, so sensitive they can detect a single drop of water hitting the surface from a distance. The most heavily armored animal alive also has one of the most delicate touch systems in nature. And here's the uncomfortable part about your own touch. It's not objective. Your brain interprets touch, and sometimes it gets it wrong on purpose. Pain can be amplified by fear, erased by adrenaline, changed by expectation. Your sense of physical reality is being filtered and edited before you experience it. You don't feel the world. You feel your brain's best guess about the world. The big picture, the bubble. There's a concept in biology called the Umwelt. It's a German word that means roughly the self-centered sensory universe of a creature. The idea is that every animal lives inside the bubble of what it can detect. And outside that bubble, those things don't exist for that animal. Not because they aren't real, because there's no tool to receive them. A tick's entire world is body heat and the smell of mammal sweat. That's it. It waits in a bush, sometimes for years, barely alive, dormant. For those two signals. That's its whole reality, warmth and sweat. Your world is obviously wider than a tick's, but it's still a bubble. Here's the thing that hit me hardest when I was putting this together. We don't know what we don't know. The UV patterns on flowers, the infrasound conversations between elephants, the scent timelines your dog reads every day. None of it is hidden. It's not in another dimension. It's right here, all around you, all the time. You just weren't built to receive it. Every confident thing you've said about how the world looks, sounds, or feels was based on a heavily edited feed. The most honest thing anyone can say about reality is this: it's much bigger, much stranger, and much richer than any single species is capable of experiencing, including us. So, back to the beginning. Your dog staring at the corner of the room? Maybe not crazy, maybe detecting something real, a vibration, a scent trace, a movement, that your hardware simply isn't built to receive. The flower in your garden? It has a whole second layer of color on it that you've never seen and never will. The ocean? Never been quiet, you've just never had the right ears. And that spicy food? Still not actually hot. We share this planet with creatures experiencing versions of it that we will never directly access. And I don't find that sad. I find it genuinely incredible. The world is stranger and richer than any one species gets to see. The next time you feel completely certain about how something looks, sounds, or feels, just remember. An eagle, a dog, a mantis, shrimp, and a bat would all read the same room completely differently, and none of them would be wrong. Leave a comment with the word keyhole if you made it to the end. And tell me which animal sense you'd borrow for 24 hours and exactly what you'd do with it. I want the specific answers, not just dog smell. What would you sniff first? See you in the next one.